and welcome to Own Your Peace. I'm your host, Andy Thusen, and today we are diving into all things Libra. We're unpacking the fall equinox and kind of going a little backwards into the eclipse energy this week. So it is an action-packed astrology, human design episode where we are going to discuss all the things energetically going on at the moment. I don't know about you, but I feel like I need to put like mark safe after the eclipse season in my bio or something, because let me tell you, this was a doozy for me. I know a lot of my friends who have really strong mutable energy, whether that be Pisces, Virgo, Sagittarius, or Gemini, were deeply affected by this eclipse season. And a lot of things were brought to the surface for us to look at. And there's a couple of different ways that we can look at this energy when we have our shadows coming to the surface for us to look at. One of those ways is to go more into the shadow and kind of get stuck in our mud and kind of allow it to, bury us a little bit and drag us down. Or what I really like to do is when these things come up for myself, and there was a lot coming up for me to look at, is to alchemize, to transmute, to transform the energy into power, into seeing it differently and seeing it how, yeah, these things might have held me back or they might have been limiting to me for quite a while. But now I'm going to choose different. I'm going to choose to see these things as wounds that I'm going to put my rubbing alcohol on. I'm going to put my Neosporin on and I'm going to clean it out completely and I'm going to move forward from it. And for me, that's really what happened. I had like I said, a lot of things coming up for me to look at, but I chose to do the work. I chose to see it for what it was. And I chose to really view it through the lens of how can I look at this differently and see it not as a wound that's going to continue to hold me back, but as something I can look at differently and see differently and choose differently on how this story plays out in my life. So I would love to hear from you if you also had kind of those moments during this last month of like, oh, I haven't thought about that for a really long time. And now I'm seeing it differently and seeing how that has played out in my life in so many different ways where I didn't realize it had as much impact on me as I thought it had. And now it's time for me to choose different. It's time for me to stop the pattern, to stop the behavior, to stop the sabotaging and the power that this limiting belief might have over me. That's what really also, with it being Virgo season, that's what we do during Virgo season. I always like to think of Virgo season as we're visiting the accountant. We're looking at where things are out of check, things are out of balance. We're looking at where we can shift and change and micromanage and make these shifts in our lives where things have kind of fallen out. So where do we need to like maybe bring back this habit that we had, was our tried and true for so long, but then we just kind of, life happens and we get out of our routine. So this is really just kind of that gym that's taking us back to what's working for us, what's not working for us. And with that accountant energy of that critical eye, let's reevaluate. Let's look at this differently. Let's choose something different for ourselves. And that really is such a beautiful thing. And then we had that through the eye of the eclipse portal, which really exemplified that. I don't know if exemplify is the right word, but amplified. There we go. Amplify is more the word I was looking for here. Amplified this time of scrutiny, of review, of really auditing our lives of what's no longer working for us and how can we move on. And now we move into a fresh start. We move into a whole new season of our lives with the fall equinox and with Libra season. And with Libra season, it's all about balance. We've now done the accounting, we've done the like auditing, the redlining of our lives, and now it's time to step into a little bit more beauty, a little bit more harmony, and more balance within our lives. And we can only do that after we have the reckoning, after we have the accounting of what we need to let go of and what we can step into. So this is really a time of harvest and celebration. And a lot of the areas of the world, this is harvest season. All of the things that we planted in the spring are coming to fruition where we're reaping the benefits of what was planted. And so think about that too. What was planted at the spring equinox? What manifestations did you anchor in? How are those playing out now? Celebrate your wins, celebrate what you're harvesting in your life, because that is a really good thing to do right now as we are celebrating this fall equinox. But of course, again, we're planting again. Now we're planting for the spring. So we're really setting some intentions with this equinox energy for the next 6 months. So some key themes right now are beauty, harmony, relationships, balance, fairness, and refinement. Those are all Libra qualities. Libra is a cardinal sign because, again, it's the kickoff of a new season. It's an air sign, so it's new ideas, new ways of seeing things. It's ruled by Venus, which is the planet of love, of our self-worth, of, luxury and living in this beautiful life of abundance and joy and pleasure. So these are all themes that kind of come up. And when we think about fall, we think of cozy blankets and beautiful smells and really warm home cooked meals. So again, it's that touch of luxury that Venus brings to Libra season. And then we think about the archetypes of Libra, where it's a peacekeeper, it's the agent, it's the diplomat, the judge, the negotiator, and the partner. Libra rules the seventh house, which is all about partnerships and relationships, both platonic and romantic. So those are going to kind of be on the spotlight. We have a lot of return to cozying up with our loved ones this time of year as the seasons change. So those are all kind of like the themes that we'll look into this next month as we move into the season. And with that fall equinox, kind of circling back to that, it's this time of equal day and night. It's a symbolic reset. It's a time again to celebrate what's been harvested and to really kind of prepare us for the shadow season of introspection, of longer nights as we step into the days getting shorter, the nights getting longer. And as we move forward to that winter where we really go inward for that introspection. So this is kind of that time, that last moment of celebration, of liveliness, of planting, of activity before we go into that deep introspection of winter. Eclipses always kind of hit around this time and I think that's for a purpose. So kind of think into your own experience over eclipse season. And now as we kind of step into this new energy of the equinox of Libra season, where we all kind of almost, I can feel it myself. It's this collective, like, we're dropping our shoulders, or there's a little bit more peace. There's a little bit more of settling right now. I know for myself, there's still a lot going on energetically on the planet where there is still a lot of the illusion of separation between us. And I want you to think of that as what it is. We are still in the matrix. We are still in this game where duality is going to continue to play out. But the more that you can, again, pull back your energy and kind of disconnect from it in a loving way, and really coming back to your own energy, your own self-focus, because when we focus on ourselves and we do the work for ourselves and we come from a healed and healthy space, we're going to have more patience. We're going to have more love for those who are choosing differently, because right now the timelines are getting more divergent. We are seeing in real time two very different timelines playing out. We have the timeline of really stepping into more for ourselves, and things are getting brighter and more beautiful, and there is more cohesiveness and more unity. And I'm seeing that in real time playing out. But there also is another very real timeline playing out right now where people are sinking in to the illusion of this division and this fighting and my way or the highway. And there's not room for two differing opinions. And these are playing out right now. So Libra season, this time of harmony, this time of balance, I urge you to really kind of check in with yourself and see which timeline you're feeding. Which area are you putting your energy into? Are you putting your energy into a better timeline where there is harmony, there is unity? We can have differing beliefs and still respect and love one another and not disparage when someone thinks differently than us. We send them love. We send them, I hope you can see this different. I hope you can choose love. I hope you can choose unity, that we are more united than we are separated. And we send that as opposed to judgment. and cruelty and more hate. Because let's be honest, at the end of the day, hate never wins. Nothing is accomplished when we throw hate at hate, but when we throw love, when we throw understanding, when we throw compassion, things shift, things change. I just had to add that in there. My guides are like, you need to say this. So there it is. But again, check in where you're at. Okay. Now let's talk about Libra through the 12 houses. So with Libra, there is this balancing, there is this harmony and this beauty. The house that is ruled by Libra for ourselves on our natal chart is truly a place where we seek balance. It's also a place that gives us balance in our day to day lives. So, as I go through these houses based on your rising sign, I want you to think about how you seek balance in that area of your life, or maybe that's an area that is a little off balance. And when you do have that in your life, you do feel more at home, more balance, more harmony in your life. It's crazy. People say astrology isn't real, but come on. I know as I read this, you're going to be like, oh my goodness, that is an area that when I invest my energy into it, I do feel more harmony and at peace in my life, or I do have more balance, or that's an area where I have been off balance in my life and I'm learning balance through that area of my life. So, where does Libra live on your chart? Okay, obviously, my Libra risings, it lives in your first house. And this is where your identity, your self image, how others see you plays out. So, there's this balance between who you are and how you show up. Maybe you're, people pleasing a little bit and needing to step into owning who you are and not necessarily having to put on a show. A Libra rising is these are people who just have beauty that exudes from them, but finding that balance and that sweet spot for yourself. Now, if you are a Virgo rising, Libra rules your second house. So, this is your money, your self worth, your value. It's aligning your financial choices with beauty and balance. When you have balance in your home life, when you have balance in your finances, when you have balance in who you are as a person and honoring your own self worth, there's a sense of balance and harmony within that. So, that's what's really kind of percolating for you right now. Now, for my Leo risings, Libra rules your third house. And this is all about communication and learning and focusing on harmony in your words, because again, this is, a lot of communication skills are here through contracts and through your siblings. The way that your mind operates can be shown in your third house. If you're a Leo rising and Libra rules that third house, you have this like dial turned to harmony and peace and balancing of things in your mindset. So these are, again, things that might be coming up for you right now as we tour Libra season. Now, for my Cancer risings, Libra rules your fourth house. So this is going to be you're going to find balance and harmony in your home, in your family, in your roots. Beautifying your home brings balance to you, it brings harmony. Rebalancing family roles are going to be things that you are playing with and working through. It's a beautiful time for that. So, this is a great time for my Cancer risings to spend some time beautifying your home, because when your home feels beautiful, there's a harmony and balance there. Now, for my Gemini risings, Libra rules your fifth house. So, this is all about creativity, romance, play, inviting harmony and pleasure, flirtations, and beauty. That fifth house is the house of fun. And when we have Libra here, there's fun and play and creative expression is how you find harmony and balance within your own life. So, just some things to think about. And now we move on to my Taurus risings, where Libra rules your sixth house. So, this is all about health and work routines, finding balance between giving and receiving at work, and also that body, mind, spirit alignment. So, there is this beautiful alignment that comes and harmony that comes when you find that perfect balance for yourself, where you're working just enough, you're relaxing just enough, you're finding this beautiful flow in your day to day routines. There's this beauty and harmony to your day to day work. And the more you find that, again, that balance starts to play out more, and you're going to seek that balance. You're a seeker of balance and beauty and harmony in that area of your life. Now, for my Aries risings, this is within your seventh house. So there is this call to finding balance within your partnerships and contracts. And it's this balance of me versus we, finding balance where you can be who you are, but also part of a partnership. And if any partnerships are out of balance, you're going to be out of disharmony within yourself. So you're seeking harmony within your partnerships, within your relationships, and you're going to be very intuitive when that feels off kilter. And when it feels off kilter, that's going to affect you. So, really finding this time right now to balance your relationships, your friendships, your partner, your business partnerships, even. What are they in balance? Are they where there's that equal weight? These are some really beautiful things to be thinking about. Now, for my Pisces risings, Libra rules your eighth house. So, this is all about shared resources, intimacy, shadow work, bringing fairness into money sex dynamics. Okay. So, again, the eighth house is the house of transformation. It's a house of taboo. It's a house of the things we don't speak of. So, you're here to bring harmony and balance to those things. And maybe by tapping into these areas, you find more harmony and balance within your life. So, just kind of think about that a little bit and how that's playing out for you. Now for my Aquarius rising. Libra rules your ninth house. So this is all about spirituality, higher learning, and travel, and seeking balance between belief and experience. So you really truly need to, strike this balance between experiential learning and belief and exploration of the mind. And again, the ninth house is higher learning. It's that esoteric wisdom, not necessarily earthly wisdom. So finding this balance between exploring those ideas, but also actually exploring those ideas and living them in an exponential way. Sorry, experimental way. There's the word. So you might be finding that kind of playing out right now. Now for my Capricorn risings, Libra rules your 10th house. So for you, you're really here to find harmony and balance between your career, visibility, your reputation, and aligning your outer success with inner truth. So those are themes that will be playing out for you. Now, for my Sagittarius risings, your 11th house is ruled by Libra. So, this is all about your community and your networks and balancing between belonging to the community and having a collective to connect with versus that individuality within yourself. So, those are some things and themes. I know for myself, I am a lone wolf, I like to call myself, but I also know that when I find really beautiful communities that I connect with and that feel good to my soul, it brings a sense of harmony and balance that I had been missing when I feel like I could do it all by myself. So that's just kind of for me how it plays out. And then for my Scorpio risings, Libra rules your 12th house. So this is your inner world. It's your spirituality, it's your hidden realms, it's balancing solitude and connection. So 12th house is this in the spiritual realm, but we're also here on earth. So finding that balance between your dreams and reality and really seeing and reviewing your inner world and finding balance and harmony between the two. So that's how those can really play out within the different houses. So think about that and kind of ponder on that if you will. Now we're going to talk about the Libra gates and human design. So as we move through Libra season, the sun will move through very different gates within the Libra energy throughout the month. So if you want a day-to-day kind of tracking of where that is playing out, make sure you're following my broadcast channel on Instagram because I have daily little astro updates, including human design updates. So it's kind of a fun little thing I do every morning. Word of warning, on the weekends, they do post later because I like to sleep in. Okay, so let's dive right in. So right now, the sun is in gate 46. So this is the love of body. It's embodiment. It's honoring the body as sacred. It's the shadow can be neglect. The gift is aligning through embodiment. So this is a really good time to connect with your body and your body's needs. What does the body need for harmony and balance? And honoring the beautiful gift that your body is. Now moving on to gate 18, which is the fear of authority. So with gate 18 being activated, we're going to be very in tune with who has authority and who doesn't. We're going to be in tune with maybe some people that we've been following, but all of a sudden we can see through them. There's this intuitive knowing of who is really truly in alignment. And for those who are maybe are missing the mark or they're not truly coming from a soul space. So with gate 18 activated, we can see that more clearly. Our intuition is heightened, but we also see our own authority. And that's where that fear of authority can come in, is we are in fear of being powerless. So this is a great time to look at your life, and look at where you feel a little powerless and taking those intuitive actions to step into more alignment to correct what needs to be corrected and step into a place of power and embodiment of our authority. As that moves through gate 18, with gate 48, it is the fear of inadequacy. So the shadow side of this is we see all the ways that we are not enough. We see all the ways we don't measure up. But on the other side of this, on the intuitive side of this, we are able to really truly tap into what is the missing piece? What is making this inadequate? How can we make this more adequate? How can we improve things? And it's from this intuitive place, making sure we're using it as a gift it is and not focusing that fear of inadequacy on ourselves. Okay, now moving on to gate 57. So, gate 57 is the fear of the future. The shadow side of that is future tripping. It is seeing all the ways that things may play out. It's worrying. It is freaking out about timelines and what's going to happen. So presence really helps bring you back to the here and now. Everything's working out in this moment. So anytime you find yourself future tripping, as gate 57 is activated, it's a call to presence. It's a call to return, because we know that our thoughts become our beliefs and our beliefs become our reality. So if we're always, thinking about the ways that things can go wrong, or the things that way that things are going to pan out in our future, what are we creating for ourselves? We're creating that timeline. So it's a time to come back and come to presence and take deep breaths and trust. The beautiful gift of gate 57, the intuitive gift here, is that there is this psychic ability. We all are a little psychic. We all have really beautiful spiritual gifts, but during this time frame, it's going to be a little heightened where you're going to just know things. And again, when we get on the other side of fear of this, that's when things come alive for us. All of these gates, gate 18, gate 48, gate 57, are all part of the spleen. And within the spleen, that's where a lot of our fears and anxiety live. And I almost like to see them as like keys. When we turn the key, we unlock the intuitive gift because we've overcome the fear. So there are a lot of fears that are going to be activated throughout the month for us to overcome. We've got two more gates that are going to be activated where it is that fear at first. We have gate 32, which is the fear of failure. That's the fear, that's the shadow side. But when we turn that key to the other side of that, is this knowing of what has sustainability, what has lasting power, where are things going to work out? We can see intuitively that's not going to work. Let's do it this way. And that's going to be a better way. That's a way that we can shift this a little bit better. So that is the gift there with gate 32. It's, yes, the fear is failure. And when we make it about ourselves, we can think about all the ways that we're failing or that things aren't working out for ourselves. But on the other side of that fear, there's this invitation of this knowing of how we can see and make things better. We can see on the other side of failure, we can see how to make things successful. Now moving to gate 50, which is the fear of responsibility. The fear here, when we pointed at it ourselves, we see this higher version of ourselves and we see how we don't know how to get there, but we have all this fear that's keeping us from that higher version of ourselves. So a lot of times when I'm coaching people who have gate 50, it is this process of really shining a light on all the ways that we're scared to death to become the highest version of ourselves. And the more that we, again, unlock those fears and see them for what they are, even if they're really small, they can be significant. So, on the other side of the fear of responsibility, we have a knowing of what steps to take to get to those versions of ourselves that we see. So, there's this invitation to move beyond fear, to move into intuitive action and moving into radical responsibility to step into these higher versions of ourselves. So that is the gift that's going to be activated within gate 50. If you natively have gate 50, you truly have this gift of seeing the best in other people, and you see the higher versions of people. But sometimes the people don't show up as the highest versions of themselves. They show up as their human selves. And there can be disappointment here. So always have grace for yourself for those times that you trusted because you saw that higher version and that person didn't show up in the way that they should have, or they could have, I should say, or there was a possibility for them to do so. So I always like to throw that in there real quick because I think that's really important to know, especially those who have gate 50 activated on their natal human design charts. So now let's talk about, how do we anchor this energy in? How do we work with this energy on a day-to-day basis as we're moving through Libra season and as we're integrating and setting intentions with this fall equinox? So let's talk about the equinox and how we can work with that first. So the equinox, a great, really beautiful ritual to do is to light a candle that symbolizes balance. And this is a great time to release what was and to call in. Another great ritual right now is to do a gratitude harvest journal. What has bloomed for you? What are you harvesting? What have you brought into your experience? And what seeds are next? What are you planting next for the spring? So really focus on, again, that energy of harvest, of celebration of harvest. We're going to move in here into the next month into Thanksgiving. So we're already starting to feel that energy of the harvest and celebration. And what seeds are you planting next? Some Libra practices to kind of sink into this season is finding ways to beautify and balance your home, whether that be a home altar, a wardrobe refresh, or getting some beautiful flowers for your home. There is this kind of call right now to beautify our lives. And however that it works out for you. And this is a really beautiful time. Libra is a very much a mirror energy. So this is great time to do mirror work, to work on affirmations around self-worth. Remember that they're ruled by Venus, which is all about self-worth. Can really kind of help that counteracting of people pleasing and really owning our own self-worth and finding beauty and harmony within who we are as a human versus how we feel like we need to show up. And this is a really good time to have a relational check-in, practicing fairness and honest dialogue within our partnerships and relationships. Now moving into human design embodiment. If gate 46 is active on your chart, as we move through that, transit, move your body as if it were a ritual. Find time to really connect with your body and your body's needs. As gate 18 is active, that fear of authority, where are you out of balance there? Where are you kind of hiding from your own power? And as gate 50 is active, how can I take radical responsibility right now to step into the highest version of myself? Those are some things that you can really work with as we move through these activations this season. I always like to leave you with some journal prompts. So moving on to some journal prompts. Where are you craving more balance in your life right now? This is a great time to focus on that. What is ready to be harvested and celebrated? What seeds of intention do I want to plant for the next 6 months? Where am I outsourcing my worth to relationships and other people's opinions? How can I invite more beauty, harmony, and fairness into my daily world? This is a beautiful time to stop over giving and dimming your light to keep the peace. That is kind of the shadow side of Libras. They're so hardwired for harmony and for peace that they kind of will make themselves small or not stand up for themselves or self-advocate to keep the peace. So where are you doing that? Where are you keeping yourself from saying what you need to say to keep the peace? Because you can say what you need to say and self-advocate without it being this massive explosion of you can do it and keep the peace. Like, you can politely advocate for yourself, but do it in a way that is harmonious. The big reminder here, the balance you create inside yourself reflects the harmony you invite outside yourself. So this is a beautiful karmic checkpoint for you to check in, to take the harvest, to celebrate it, to plant new seeds, and trust that balance doesn't mean perfection. It means alignment. If this episode resonated, I would love for you to share it. Reach out if you have any questions at all. I love connecting with you on social media or via email. And this is a perfect time as we're in this time of finding balance and harmony within our lives. Just schedule an appointment. I would love to review your human design chart, your astrology chart, or to really get into a rhythm where we do this every month with a soul strategy session where we review the astrology for the month, how it's affecting you personally, and really come up with a strategic plan for you to move through this energy with more grace, with more flow, with more purpose in your life. Much love, and I will see you next week.